Hi, Edith.
Hello. Hi,
Hello.
Mark.
It is
How are
Edith
you?
Bowman.
Yeah, good, thank you.
What's going
It's
on?
Edith Bowman.
Guys.
Big
Oh,
fan,
I've
Edith.
same. I've literally gorged on the first three episodes of the show. It's so great with this new
Oh,
season. It's
good.
absolutely brilliant, yeah. And such an interesting dynamic, this kind of father-son that I love how as the audience we're kind of really guessing as to, what's going on. That must be kind of fun to kind of tease us as an audience with that
Mhm.
relationship.
Yeah, I think the who you meet in the beginning of the episodes definitely evolves later in the season as we all go through our personal journeys and you as the audience realize like why they're there in the first place. And of course, like the at face value, it's about a son trying to reconnect with his father, but there's so much, especially on David's journey, why those decisions were made in the past and why that connection wasn't very strong.
Mm.
So I think that's the joy of Nine Perfect Strangers, because there are 20, 10, 11 different storylines going all at once, but each one is so rich that you're kind of like, oh, give me more, give me more.
And the joy of storytelling in this way is like peeling an onion or peeling a banana.
Yeah.
As you're slowly just stripping away little bits of information until you get to the whole. Hmm.
And also how you see the characters reach out to other people as well for things that they are learning about themselves or didn't know about themselves as well, which is so fascinating.
Yeah. Well, it makes for great drama. If you've got nine people all thrown together under those circumstances, all with their own personal traumas that they've got to air, um, it's always going to be interesting.
Yeah. What about physical trauma, Mark, and cold water swimming?
Well, it's interesting you should say that because I was just saying that I love cold water swimming.
Same.
I'm really good in the cold water, but that scene was actually in very warm water. Because obviously you
Oh.
have to spend quite a long time in it, and you can't be in there for very long, otherwise you get hypothermia. So it was actually warm water. So the it's acting. I
That
had to
So
that
good
act.
at
breath
it.
that you take when you
I had to
that
act being cold and try and remember what it's like when I do the cold water swimming that I
but
love.
interesting story though, because I think I was talking to Nicole around that scene because she spent the weekend. We were based in Salzburg at that stage, but she spent the weekend sort of going cold water swimming in the river that goes down those
Did she?
along Salzburg. Yeah, because I was like, "Oh, what did you do the weekend?" She was like, "Oh," and she was kind of had this the mash accent going on, and she was like, "Oh, I went cold water swimming because we have the scene." So I was
Wow.
like, "Oh wow, she's like super dedicated to
Yeah.
like figuring out."
Method.
Yeah.
She goes deep.
You just see her
Yeah, yeah.
paddling past Salzburg City.
Yeah, who's that going down the river? Oh, it's Nicole Kidman. Yeah. But look, locations are such an important part, for us as an audience to kind of feel like we're immersed in. But I imagine it's the same for you in terms of, having that as much tangible kind of locations and environment as you possibly can and stuff. What was the reality of the show in terms of where locations and what were some really important parts of that for you?
Well, it's obviously you want to. It's beautiful. It's
Mm.
beautiful to look at. I mean, on a basic level, you watch a show that's set in the Alps, in the snow, with that crisp, cold feeling about it. It makes it really special. And I've just thought of this in the moment, but there's something about the snowy waste like that. It's a little bit isolated.
Mm.
Something about the idea of snow kind of snowing you in, so they're in this place together and they're isolated from the rest of the world.
Hmm.
I think
Mm.
that's the clever thing about setting it in the Alps.
And what about for you both, the idea that when you look back on the work that you've done on screen, there are so many locations that you've been lucky enough to kind of film. And what are some of them the most memorable for you that have been important for whatever reason, that may be either just memorable or kind of just really helped with character, with the situation that you found yourself in?
Interestingly, for my first movie ever, Crazy Rich Asians, we shot it in Singapore and Malaysia, and I lived in Singapore at that point, and John Chu had found me or found his Nick Young, this character, sort of character that was from Singapore and lived a life abroad. So it was a very strange but and surreal experience. But I really think environments and places that we get to shoot, we're so lucky to be able to travel the world as this sort of traveling circus of very interesting people from, your grips to your camera guys to your actors to your producers, all trying to make something, beautiful at the end of the day in a very foreign land.
Yeah,
So,
I remember doing
Yeah.
a low budget film in Venice. We all stayed on the Lido, and we used to get the boats to
oh
work
wow.
Oh,
to film in St.
Oh,
Mark's Square, and it was low budget. So we would there was in the hotel there was a room that had a boxes of wardrobe stuff in, and we were told just go in and choose whatever you think will be relevant for your character. So we'd all dress up and then get on these boats and
amazing.
at dawn we'd head into St. Mark's Square to go and shoot. And I had a similar experience about a few years ago. I was doing something in Colombia where we went to work on a speedboat. So it was a half hour's speedboat ride to
Mm,
get to this island. And in those moments, you just think,
mm,
yeah, it's a real, like, it's very privileged to be able to sort of get involved with things like that and shoot in
yeah.
locations like that.
mm.
Yeah.
Water seems to be a recurring theme with you, Mark, through all these.
Water. Well, on those
Yeah.
two, only because going to work by boat was so
Yeah.
unusual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we wrap, I want to ask you about music, if that's all right, just quickly. And soundtracks. I love celebrating how important music is to the storytelling in the films and the TV shows that we watch. And I wondered if there was a soundtrack that both of you find yourself going back to again and again that means something to you.
Wow, that's a good question. I always I love this artist so much that I've pestered him on Instagram and I think we had this conversation earlier, but I reached out to him and I was like, oh my God, I love your stuff. And he was like, and he very nicely was like, oh, thank you very much, and he's very sweet. But he has a song called Transatlantic, and it's Leif Vollebeck,
Oh, wow.
Leif, and I play it as soon as I'm just about to take off on an airplane, and his melody and his words and just the beauty of this song just takes me away, and kind of you have that hero moment of like, yeah, I'm the hero of this story, and then it's like chicken or beef, and then you're snapped out of it.
Yeah. No, but
That
you're right.
wonderful.
It's very it's obviously vital. It's very important. Soundtrack, music tracks, anything that's chosen. I mean, they can really make or break a program.
Mm.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's some great choices in Nine Perfect Strangers as well. There's a particular track that's in a scene with Dolly from an artist called Big Thief that is so great. It's
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
wonderful. Yeah. So yeah,
I think
huge
that was
congratulations.
a lot of that was Jonathan Levine has such amazing taste, and
Yeah.
he's really got his finger on the pulse. So unless somebody else, obviously we have a music composer, but he's got a very
Yeah.
kind of rock and roll style of directing, and yeah, I think
It's great.
the soundtrack was actually really dope. I
Really
mean,
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very clever. Listen, thank you so much for your time today. It's lovely to remotely see you guys and congratulations on the show again.
Thank you.